Well, you guys, it was short, it was sweet, but it is time to say goodbye to the Trail 125. I'm not gonna lie, the Trail 125 is overrated. I'm pretty disappointed that they couldn't have brought back a lot of those features that made them what they were. No high and low range gearbox, everything's just cheap plastic, and that pretty much sums up modern Honda. They're just trying to squeeze every dollar out of you, and you're not getting the same value that you were back in the day. That being said, we're gonna try yet another cheap Honda motorcycle. We're actually gonna trade this. Alexis does not know. We gotta go to Columbus, so let's hop in the Tundra and go for a drive. What's going on, man?
What's happening?
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. Look at that thing.
You like it?
Love it.
Happy birthday, man.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Are you switching?
Doing a little trade, yeah.
Nice.
What do you think?
I like it. Honest to God, I think I took a picture.
Oh, this is awkward. Let's see
show
it,
you.
yeah.
Ooh. Friday at 7:50. I like the color.
Dude, I love how they both have brown seats too. That's
Yeah,
funny.
that was kinda cool.
Oh, those grips are cool.
I've never seen that.
Starting to wear into. It's like a Swedish company or something. You want to take it for a spin?
Yeah, likewise. Let's get that thing unloaded. It's so much fun. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pleasantly surprised. This thing is smooth. It's actually got a decent amount of power. I think this was a good trade, man. Dude, I love the color too. This is like one of my favorite colors personally. And the brown, dude, this seat looks good. It's a lot more comfortable than the one that's on the trail, so I think we lucked out. This is actually a parking brake. I was like, what the hell is this thing? Honestly, pleasantly surprised. It's comfortable as hell. And it's got some speed. So Jeff is new to riding motorcycles. This was actually his first bike, and he said that it really was the perfect bike for him to learn and get his feet wet. And so that, with having to shift, it's like the next step in the line, and eventually he might get something bigger, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll follow you. You like it?
I like it. I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing yet.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. That's a good step in between, like you said. That's a perfect step. You said this was your first one, right?
That's my first one. Don't know how to shift, but this is next level to actually shifting.
Oh yeah, that's
clutch,
perfect.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Say goodbye.
That was a good shift.
That was. Real nice guy. Dude, I actually love this thing. Let's get her home. Man, it feels good to be back. If you didn't know, I just spent the last few days out on the California coast riding e-bikes through the hills. Awesome experience, plenty of footage to come. Thank you, Hemingway, for having me. That was the longest flight that I've ever been on. I'm not really big on confined spaces. And right before I got on the flight back home, my stomach started acting up and I had a little bit of an anxiety attack. So right away, I popped in some CBD, got on the plane, sat down, and I gotta give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Canadips. I'm sure you've heard the name, but it is an alternative to nicotine and traditional tobacco dip. Being the fact that most CBD products are water soluble, this is like one of the best ways to deliver CBD. And after just a few minutes with some deep breathing exercises, I was able to calm down. My brain was really in fight or flight mode. I had flashes of thoughts of just going to rent a car and drive all the way back, which is just nonsense. If anybody's had an anxiety attack or panic attack before, you really just have to hold strong and convince yourself that everything is going to be all right. But with multiple injuries over the years and inflammation in my body and even in my digestive tract, CBD has been a huge part of my life, and I think Canna Dips is a great answer for a lot of people. What you see here is actually a California roll, so you can try a variety of flavors. And just giving something for my mouth to do just really got me outside of my head and was able to calm me down. Not only that, I've noticed that it's helped me stay regular, and also if you come from a dipping background, it is a great way to help you quit. So if you're interested at all, I highly recommend checking it out. There'll be a link down below. Use my code ADVENTURE20 for 20% off. Then it definitely saved the day as far as my flight goes. So let's go ahead and talk about the scooter. So the day that I got back, we actually traded the Trail 125 for this beautiful Honda Navi. By far my favorite colorway. This is actually one of, if not the cheapest motorcycles that you can buy from any of the top manufacturers. 110cc, 2-valve, 4-stroke, carbureted, and yes, I said scooter. This actually has a CVT. So obviously the biggest comparison as far as the ergonomics is to the Grom, but other than size, it is a completely different machine. I saw one at the dealership and it didn't really get my attention, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to judge it just on appearance. Let's actually get one, ride it, and see how I like it. And man, I gotta say, right off the bat, I really enjoy this. The power comes on pretty quick. It's comfortable. I love the rubber that they put on the foot pegs. It's actually got passenger pegs as well, so you can ride 2 up. But with an MSRP around $1,800, I really do think this is a good value, especially when you compare it to the new Grom. You're gonna spend close to $5,000 if you buy a brand new Grom. Versus this, you'll be a lot closer to the $2,000 mark. It comes in 4 different colors. Like I said, this is by far my favorite. But we also have the classic Honda red, grasshopper green, and nut brown. This one is the Ranger green, and with the brown seat and the grips, it pops. It's funny that the Trail 125 had the brown seat as well, so they looked really good next to each other. Functionality wise, if you live in the city and you're looking for a commuter, this is a no-brainer. I would recommend this over the Grom for the price point, the rideability, the fact that you have a CVT, you don't have to shift gears. This would be great for food delivery. And my favorite part of all is this storage box right in the center where the engine would typically be. You would be surprised how much you can fit in this box. And on top of that, he put a little Pelican case on the back rack, and we have a little bit of extra fuel in this bottle on the side. So a lot of tasteful stuff that he did. I definitely want to throw a handlebar setup, maybe some knobbies, turn this into a little off-road camping rig. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. As far as the power, you can expect a top speed around the 60 miles an hour mark depending on how much you weigh. This thing does have a decent amount of pickup. I was surprised. I think the Trail might have it just by a little bit, but just the feeling of the CVT and how smooth it is, it feels pretty quick for what it is. So the Navi has actually been around for a long time. I made a post years ago and it didn't really get any traction, but these were super common in India and maybe a few other countries. These bikes are so cheap to produce. I think you can buy an entire wheel for like $20. And it shows you can definitely pick out all of the cheap components and plastic that they used. But for that price point in 2022, I still think it's a really good value. I mean, the closest you're gonna get to this is one of the Chinese Grom clones. You could get a Braz for a little bit more, but it's got the Honda name. I have no doubt that this thing will go the distance. I'd love to see some high mileage Navis out there and hear from their experiences. The seat height is around 30 inches, so similar to the Grom, but overall I feel like it's a little bit bigger. Now I only had the SF. I haven't got a chance to ride one of the new Groms yet, so it might be more similar to that, but it does feel just a tad bit bigger from the classic Groms. We have inverted forks in the front with around 3.5 inches of travel, so nothing crazy. Definitely way too soft as always. Only 2.8 inches of travel in the rear, and there's only one shock and it's off to the side because you actually have the engine towards the rear. So the engine is pretty much a part of the swing arm, just like the traditional scooters. It feels solid. I was able to wheelie it, so we'll get some shots of that. It's got almost a gallon of fuel capacity and it weighs around 236 pounds. So it's about 5 pounds heavier than the Grom, not a huge difference. Drum brakes front and rear, like I mentioned, carbureted. A lot of cheap components, but I think they really nailed it. And with the small carbon fiber accents, in this color especially, I think it's a good looking bike. It's a close competition between Nut Brown and this Ranger Green. Let me know what you prefer, but I like them both pretty much equally. You do have a center stand. As you can see, we're on the center stand right now, as well as a traditional kickstand. We have a steering lock underneath, but overall, it's a cool little scooter. I'm happy to have one. That's gonna wrap up today's video and my first impressions of the Honda Navi. I really enjoy it so far. I'm honestly surprised how much I like it, but I think it's because I'm a guy of value and I can just appreciate at this price point what you get for your money. And I think for a lot of people, especially people who live in the city, this bike makes sense. So please leave your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you're new, consider subscribing, hit the like button. It really helps feed this new algorithm. YouTube is a weird place these days, but if you could help me in any way, I would appreciate it. We're still uploading 2 videos a week, some shorts in between, so make sure you follow along on these adventures. And until the next video, live free and adventure daily.